Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, other poets. Thank you, Red Curtain. Are you guys normal, well-adjusted people who look forward to the future with boundless hope? Or are you like me, terrified of all the mistakes you'll make tomorrow? Okay, good. I just like to know where I stand. This is called the panic of the future. No one asked me to help build the wall, despite my credentials. As evidence, my collection of stones that say nothing, and also the way I stopped calling, despite how sweet you were to me. My problem was boring, as all difficulties are, even though we plant them on pedestals, sing songs about them, are so convinced that they dominate the skyline. Thanks to the wind, my present-day hair is tangled in front of my eyes, my field of vision obscured and tarnished. Thanks to the blinking red light, I know someone has emailed me, and I immediately react like a panther in the forest, excited to eat or avoid being eaten. Whatever happens has already happened, say the scientists of the future. I look through mail order catalogs all afternoon in search of advice on how to structure my accumulated stuff beautifully, but the only action plan I can discern involved moving to an imaginary tropical island and painting my walls blue. In response, I add a few more bricks to the landscaping which separates the tree from the yard, then I grab another, throw it high, try to predict something useful. Forever war. In studying the anomaly, it was determined that holiday decorations look sad out of season, that there's no excuse for the mistakes of my people. Red paper hearts on the front door into April, a cauldron that doubles as a planter in summer. Always the starscape to help keep me honest, to remind me that distance is easy to cross. The analytic belt I'm equipped with reminds me of an indescribable autumn from 100 generations ago, though even last year I was someone else. I was faced with a choice. Proceed with the same fusion core or blow it up to restart and maybe go farther. Most of my programming has survived into this new battle. I have the ability to smell faint ocean salt on the breeze, and I have different reactions for its presence or absence. Now is the time to overcome problems. I debate the finer points of being desperate, of wanting things to remain as they are, though they can't. I'd rather not go into details, since specifics make me queasy, like in pictures, when people put their heads too close together. How can they stand such forced intimacy? I take off in search of my home planet. My resolve is stronger than ever. This poem is called Forget the Swan, which is a Dinosaur Jr. song. If you don't know Dinosaur Jr., you should look them up. They're still an active band. That has nothing to do with the poem, which is maybe a good lesson on titles. I just take them from wherever I can find them. That poem, Forever War, was the title of an episode of a Silver Surfer cartoon from 1993. The Panic of the Future is a line from a song by a band I can't remember. I didn't write most of these, actually. I just found these earlier today. Forget the Swan. In the dark of the morning, my email light blinks on the face of the phone I would rather not have. I run to the cave and cower, hiding from the advance of civilization. All I want now is coffee, which is different than what I wish I could want. Meanwhile, the bluebirds are furious, but it's possible I'm projecting my own emotions like a laser through the fog in my head. Here's what I remember about yesterday. I touched the young basil and sat on the couch with my hands in the air, determined never to reach for anything else. Just breathe and observe, saith the happy monks who live in the sky where the air is much cleaner, where the email goes unchecked. Here on this planet, the air is packed with birds. Forget the swan at your peril, because it returns weeping a lake of immense sadness. Only my couch will remember my human ardor, the weight of my being, my brain on the cushion. This feels like progress. That's how the gods gave us cities. That's how we got these feelings. It was the beginning of the end, the glimpse of the garden. The macaroons in the bakery case are so bright it's distracting, even though I'm only thinking about it and not actually there. The shadow from the tree covers the dandelion in the yard, but then time happens. After picking apples. My computer is aglow, sharp afternoon glare from slanted kitchen windows, from sun that will eventually kill all of us. I try to check my email, but I can't see the screen, nor do I want to. The kitchen smells of apples, the scent of apples heavy in the mind of my heart, the deep sense of autumn, the fact that I am a person. All the different types we picked this morning. We went to an orchard that humans planted on purpose, and we stayed in the lanes between the trees that were ready and ripe, the ones that were safe, instead of the ones the sign said might actually kill us. Macintosh and Gala and Ginger Gold and Honey Crisp. Kids running everywhere, overjoyed, because apples are ridiculous, hanging wherever you look. Thousands. Outside, the apple trees are all pointing to heaven. I looked up to the tops of the apple trees, me also looking toward heaven. We heard kids getting yelled at, mom and dad declaring the whole day ruined by outbursts and screaming. I wanted to kill those parents because they're killing their kids. The sun up above in heaven will kill us anyway. I'm just here in my kitchen where it smells like heaven. I'm drowsing off while I write this, my hand holding the pencil and the paper making noises. I shut down my computer because it's useless on days when the planet is dying so brilliantly. It seems like the paper resists each word I put down, like maybe it wants something else from me, some other ideas or some better, noble sentiments. No more death, no more dying, no more heaven. Just regular sentences and autumn days, falling to earth to bruise and then rot. I think in each of those poems I mentioned checking my email. Which, if you're like me, is something you do at least 6 or 7 times a minute. It's really hard not to check right now. Just in case somebody wrote to me who's cooler than all of you, which I know it's unlikely, but I mean, it's possible that something else is happening somewhere that's better than this, so I've got to find out what it is. Do you guys have email accounts, I hope? Yeah? I'm gonna email each of you right now. Call out your email addresses individually, and I'll... Do you have Facebook accounts? Do you have Twitter and Instagram? Have any of you ever taken a picture of your meal and posted it? This poem is dedicated to all of you then. Anybody who's ever taken a picture of food, this poem is for you. War music. It's warm for January, the end of the month. A winter mostly without snow. And I am driving to get a coffee because without Jenny, my whole life falls apart, which is a privilege since I am not worrying about getting bombed or shot or debris falling from somewhere to crush my family. I have an inner life, yes. I spend so much time quiet. And when I say that my life falls apart, I only mean that I don't know how much coffee to make today. So I have to drive in my car, listen to Haydn on the radio, use money to buy whatever I want. And I haven't even done the dishes from last night, have forgotten how to organize my time, which I take for granted, that instead of spending the day hiding and terrified or getting shot in the face, I know I will have this same face tomorrow and the same soft American heart, my stupid American ego. I will not be dead. My family won't be threatened, though we are already scattered and lost to each other forever. And right now I am telling my electronic friends about a muffin I will eat. It is so huge and absurd, and I am proud to have it, because I am huge and dumb. I need to forget, because there is so much information I do not want to think about, because even here I will die quietly. I'm just going to read a few sections from this new chapbook of mine called Pattern Exhaustion. It's really just one poem, but I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, because that would probably grate on all of us. I forget myself, but I remember the morning radio news, the contradictory forecast of high clouds and sun. I wear my new jacket, the one I am still getting used to, so I don't have to wear a sweater, and because I'm vain, and I hope it makes me look difficult and severe. It erases my soft neck. I use the plastic trigger to open my car windows when I drive from one place to another. Don't even feel the wind I'm supposed to, but I know enough science to react appropriately. I listen to a lot of music, but when I know a song is about to end, I stop it early. Yellow leaves tumble through the air, and I feel momentarily special, though really everything we see is rare and won't happen again. When lots of people talk at once, I feel absolved of needing to make sense. I'm convinced I'm still a good person. I watch this one girl press the back of her hand gently to her forehead, and I do the same thing. I have to guess at the right words to email a student to explain that she's failing. I run a Google search to find the closest Ethiopian restaurant. I want to shake off any sense of time and not feel so trapped anymore. The smell of rain makes me nostalgic for a beach I visited every summer when I was younger. The sand spread out in a crescent, the sun rising and setting in a relentless and unbroken sequence. I read one specific email 15 times to really feel it, to let it become part of the texture of my day. Sharp red afternoon caught in leaves, raucous evening wind, the dark. The end doesn't look or feel like the beginning. I close my eyes when they're so worn out from being open. I can forget one specific evening, or 4 whole years, even your name, as easily as summer forgets the blue of July, turning quietly to August. Now it's already October. I'm losing the structure inherent in my own thought, or I'm just lazy. I listen to pop punk and eat a lemon bar. More than almost anything else, I want to go to the mall tonight and maybe buy something, which the quiet beloved won't ever believe, demure in her robe in the small morning light. Another day with no clue how to feel, since there's no television in the room to tell us what apparatus we need to make us thoroughly real to ourselves and everyone. Wait, the song will change even if I don't do anything. The computer says it's 39 degrees outside, which sounds right. Music in my brain disintegrates, just metal and crayon emotion, holding one long syllable to show how much they mean it. I'm trying to become more empathetic, so I'm thinking hard about how to feel, reading a lot of books, and avoiding messy people, in order to focus my sensibility and give it some shape. The postman brings new boxes almost every day, and I make coffee in the afternoons when it is quiet, when it should be snowing. I lay on the couch for 15 minutes and feel guilty about it because nothing is accomplished and I don't feel better. People can be trained to think of you as a happy and sociable person, even if the evidence suggests otherwise, is something I tell a coworker to explain why I will not go to the holiday party. I do go to the holiday party, but I don't stay long. I will dismantle the center of the world and write about love because it's all that makes sense. When there are all these pieces, I try hard to say something new. Sometimes I do. But mostly I settle for saying the same thing in a different way. The facts have never been in my favor. I think of the book I'm reading about a barbarian who is trying to save some wizards from being assassinated. I know a lot of facts, I know a lot of people too, but it all feels like accidental knowledge. I find myself really caring about that barbarian, about what happens to him, even though the writing is pretty simple and sort of bad. His only friend is his sword. You guys know the book. We are living under a sun of motion that blasts us with so much fast light, we don't even know what we are anymore. I spent 15 minutes at the dry cleaners, explaining what I thought were very simple directions, and now I feel like everything about my world is going to be different. I hate to think I'll never see you wear that dress again. Thank you very much.